Hello, Nevada County. It's your friendly neighborhood political correspondent. Happy fall, y'all. As harvest season rolls on, I'm going to focus today on what's arguably our county's most controversial crop, cannabis. Today's guest is, in an official leadership sense, the guy to talk to on the topic of cannabis. Matt Kelley is the Code and Cannabis Compliance Divisions Director for Nevada County. I asked him to come in and speak with us a bit about a program that's currently in development in Nevada County, the Cannabis Local Equity Program. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
So my specific aim with this show is to inform and empower Nevada County voters. So I'd like for us to open our discussion about the program today with some background. And I ask that if possible, you incorporate in that background the electoral outcomes in the last decade that have allowed this work to happen. Then at the end of the program, you can give viewers and listeners information about how they can learn more and how they can get involved if they aren't already, even if it just means learning. To begin though, how did you come to be in this role?
So I've been the Director of Code and Cannabis Compliance now for 6 months. I was a senior planner with Nevada County for about 6 years. And prior to that, I've worked in a number of other jurisdictions, including jurisdiction in Alaska, where I actually did cannabis and permitting and helped to develop the county's or the city's cannabis program that we developed there.
Oh, wow, in Alaska. We're in Alaska.
Yeah, so the city of Kenai, it's on the Kenai Peninsula, about 2.5 hours southwest of Anchorage.
I'm so unfamiliar with Alaska.
Yeah,
it's the only state I haven't been to. That's really cool. Wow. Is any similarities with Nevada County?
There are. I mean, Alaska is it's very mountainous, so similar to Nevada County. A lot of hunting, fishing, outdoor activities, things like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's great. You mentioned you work for the county and code compliance. So let's say that somebody violates a code, a cannabis-related code inside of a city limit, Grass Valley, Nevada City. Does your office have anything to do with that?
We do not. So yeah, the city of Grass Valley, city of Nevada City, and the town of Truckee all have their own regulations, their own zoning code, their own general plan. So they do all their own regulations.
Okay, gotcha. So your jurisdiction is outside of those city limits. That's
Yes.
where your code compliance team works.
Yeah,
Okay.
within unincorporated Nevada County.
Unincorporated, gotcha. Okay. So we brought you in to talk about this program that's happening. Will you please tell us a little bit about it, maybe some background and where it is now?
Sure. So the county now has an equity program for cannabis. Our equity program started really in 2016 with when Measure W was overturned. So at the time, the Board of Supervisors had not elected or banned outdoor cannabis cultivation. There was a desire by the voters and by the citizens in Nevada County to allow that. So they overturned the ballot measure, and it was required that the county regulate outdoor commercial cannabis cultivation for medical purposes, is where it started. And then after that, in 2019, the county passed, or the Board of Supervisors approved, an environmental impact report for cannabis cultivation. It was a programmatic EIR, or environmental impact report, that started the program. And then from there, in 2021, the Board of Supervisors approved our equity program and our equity program manual, as well as our assessment that was done by Humboldt State, and that allowed for the program to start.
So what is an equity program?
So an equity program it actually comes from the state. It allows for people who are in either impoverished areas or that meet certain criteria in terms of their race, ethnicity. They're impacted generally by the war on drugs is kind of where it started. They've been either arrested for cannabis and cannabis infractions or cannabis cultivation issues to be able to come into the program and receive some grant money to be able to do that. It's designed to help folks get into the program, and a lot of times it's people who have illegal cannabis grows or been in the black market, if you will, to come to the legal side and the legal market.
Gotcha. So essentially people who might not have the means to comply with the cannabis law are able to collaborate in a monetary and regulatory way with the county so that they can get legit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, hey, that's really cool. So where does the program stand now, and what's kind of the timeline?
So right now the program is we're in the development stages of putting together the applications. We have contracted with the Sierra Business Council to help us do that. And we're working on the applications now. We're not accepting the applications as of yet, but we're anticipated in the next couple of months we'll begin to roll that out. And then we've received 2 grants, one from the Department of Cannabis Control, the other one from the Governor's Office of Business Administration, or GOBIZ, to be able to allow folks to be able to apply for that funding. I'm not exactly sure what the funding amounts will be yet, because it will depend on the number of applicants we receive. We do have approximately 168 permitted cannabis farms within Nevada County. They're not all operational, but they are permitted, so it's expected that a number of those folks will apply for funding. A lot of that will be folks from the Nevada County Cannabis Alliance and sort of their applicants or their program folks who will apply for that.
Okay. Yeah. So once the program's up and running and you've received the applications that you expect to receive, how many grows do you think we'll have in Nevada County legitimately?
I actually don't fully know. It's anticipated that we'll have more grows, but we could receive 20, 30, 40 applications. It'll just kind of depend on a lot of it's market driven, but it's anticipated that we'll receive more. There'll be more grows that'll start. The other option is for folks who have existing commercial medical cannabis grows to be able to add additional improvements to them. So they can go from hoop houses to greenhouses, or you can go from an outdoor grow to a permitted greenhouse type grow or indoor grow. It's also to be able to hire consultants to do environmental work, to do permitting and things like that. So there'll be some folks and some applicants who take advantage of the program to be able to improve their existing farms.
Gotcha. So, so you mentioned the grant money. So how much grant money does that add up to?
So we have a grant from DCC, our Department of Cannabis Control, for about $1.2 million. And then we have a GOBIZ grant of $755,000. And so those two amounts combined will be what we have set aside for our equity program. We have to back out the cost to be able to administer the grant, and then the cost for Sierra Business Council to be able to regulate or help us regulate the applications.
Okay, and so with all that money, what does the budget for this program look like? Where does that money go once the applications are in?
So we're anticipating it could be up to $25,000 to $30,000 or so approximately. It could be higher than that.
Per grow or per application?
Grow. Okay. It'll depend on how many applications we receive, but it'll go directly to the applicant or to the grower, and they'll essentially get a check to be able to do the work that they'd like to do, and there'll be some reporting requirements in a reporting period as well. But and as long as the applicants meet the equity program requirements, they've either been arrested for a cannabis type infraction, or they've had it. A lot of it's the war on drugs kind of thing. They meet the criteria, then they would generally be awarded.
Gotcha. Yeah. We obviously in Nevada County, this is a big business for us. Can you comment about how we stand in California as a county? Like, is this a program that is California wide? Is it big? Like, are we like a big player in this space?
Generally, we are. We've actually been viewed by a number of state assembly members as having one of the best programs in the state, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, cool.
We're up there with Humboldt and Trinity County and Mendocino County as well, which is exciting. So our program, it runs really, really well. We've received a number of very good comments on it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's great. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah. It's a lot of it's my staff. I mean, they do a tremendous job.
Well, go team.
Yeah.
So speaking of team, how and because this is a show to engage and empower voters, so how do you collaborate with your elected leaders? Have you seen any pushback? Have they been pretty cooperative and collaborative on this?
They have. So it's a board of supervisors, and so they've been very receptive to the program. They were the ones who administer, who permitted the program initially. And so, yeah, they've been receptive to it. They are very open to cannabis. There'll be some requirements and regulations in terms of the ordinance requirements and locations in terms of zoning and setbacks and those kinds of things that we have to implement, and cultivation sizes and canopy sizes and things. But no, the board has been very receptive to the program.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So what about any challenges or roadblocks that you guys have faced? Anything like that?
So a lot of it is, for the applicants, they face a lot of financial challenges. Mm-hmm. Development is very expensive. Nevada County, as we know, is very hilly and there's a lot of slope issues and things. And so a lot of it is we're anticipating it'll be, for grading activities or to hire engineering firms and things like that to be able to actually do the work. So that's kind of been a bit of a roadblock. Some of the other things is that a lot of parcels within the county are accessed via one-lane roads or dirt roads, gravel roads, so that'll help for fire improvements. Part of the requirements of the ordinance does require that all access roads to the grow itself meet local fire safe road standards. So there are some exceptions to that applicants can apply for, but generally it's they have to meet the fire safe road standards. So we'll see more than likely some of the money being able to be used towards grading and things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what about the program itself? Have you encountered any bureaucratic roadblocks or community pushback on anything?
There are some, it is cannabis. So there are some folks who are against cannabis in general. We do receive calls from neighbors who are concerned about smells and odor, concerned about, their impacts to children and folks who will be accessing the cannabis. Everything is regulated by the Department of Cannabis Control and by our ordinance. So it's cannabis grows are fenced and they have access requirements. It's a very highly regulated market. But there are folks who are against it just because it's cannabis, and that's just kind of the nature of it. As far as bureaucratic pushback, there hasn't been a lot. There are, I imagine there are some assembly members and senators who don't like it, and that's okay. But each county was allowed to develop, and really each city is also allowed to develop their own ordinance and their own requirements and can regulate it or choose not to.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of cities, it's my understanding that Nevada City is currently also working on its own the cannabis equity program. Do you guys have any involvement with that?
We typically don't. We can share information back and forth as colleagues and as fellow neighbor jurisdictions, but we generally don't get involved in their equity program or any of their requirements.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so how can people, if they're interested, if they see this program and they're like, oh, I need to get involved with that, how can they contact you, or where should they be looking for an application when they come out?
So it'll come through the Sierra Business Council and the website that they're setting up, as well as the Nevada County website. Our website will have a lot of information on it. In addition, we'll release a
press release?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. To the tongue.
Yeah. So we'll have press releases that will come out, as well as announcements in the Union newspaper. It's anticipated once the applications become available. It's anticipated the Cannabis Alliance will help with that as well. They'll probably help to advertise it through their partners and their industry folks that they're involved with as well.
Okay, sounds like it's going to be pretty clear to people who are interested how they can get involved once it's available.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So if anybody wants to have any more information about it, just as a general community member, where can they look?
So they can go to our Nevada County website, so nevadacountyca.gov, and they can come to take a look at the cannabis compliance website, as well as they can contact myself. You can send me an email or just give me a call. Phone number is 530-265-1423, or send me an email, matt.kelley, it's Kelley, at nevadacountyca.gov. Also, we're available at the counter. You can come into the Root Center and contact us there. Any of my staff can help in cannabis compliance as well. And then also the Cannabis Alliance though it's anticipated that they'll be able to get information through there as well. In addition, once the applications are released during the application period, we'll probably have a workshop where we'll be able to walk applicants through the application process.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that'll be announced also too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. And then one last question for you. I'm getting personal here. What is something in your career that you're especially proud of? Putting you on the spot.
So actually, a number of things. One thing I'm probably especially proud of is our work on our housing element. So as a senior planner in our planning department, I had the opportunity to develop our most recent housing element project. So that was fun to work on. It was a general plan amendment that went to the board and was approved unanimously. And housing is always a big issue. As we know, in California, housing is expensive. So it was fun to work on that project.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Be proud of that too.
Yeah.
That's cool. So to read more about the Nevada County Cannabis Local Equity Program, as Matt said, you can visit nevadacountyca.gov.
.gov.
Okay. And just stay up on the topic and keep your eyes open for any other opportunities to apply if that's up your alley. And if you have any feedback on this piece, please email me at ncnpolitics@gmail.com. It has been my privilege to be with you today. And remember, when it comes to politics, if you're not at the table, you might be on the menu. Thank you, Matt Kelley, and thanks for staying informed, Nevada County. I'll see you soon with another special guest.